Just a mile from where Nicola Bulley went missing, a body has been found. Police are treating the death as unexplained and are yet to complete a formal identification, but say it is the most difficult of times. Also ahead, Boris is accused of trying to derail the Prime Minister's new Brexit plans. And the stars were out for British cinema's glitziest night, a night of emotion for the man who won for his role as the King of Rock and Roll.
I want to thank Presley family. I cannot thank you guys enough for your love and for sharing with me who Elvis truly was.
This is ITV News with Lucy Watson.
Good evening. Detectives searching for missing mother of two, Nicola Bulley, have found a body in the River Wyre, about a mile from where she was last seen. The discovery came after a sighting by two members of the public. Lancashire police say that no formal identification has yet been carried out, but Nicola's family is being kept informed. For more than 3 weeks, the whole community at St Michael's-on-Wyre has been desperate for news, and this is the update they will have been dreading. Our North of England reporter Sangeeta Lal now reports.
This is a significant development in the search for Nicola Bulley, and one that may give her family the answers they've been desperately waiting more than 3 weeks for now. Earlier this morning, Lancashire police were called here after reportedly being informed of a body in the river by two dog walkers passing by. And this is where officers uncovered it just a few hours later. Quickly, a cordon was set up as teams searched the area. In a statement, the force said, "An underwater search team and specialist officers have subsequently attended the scene, entered the water and have sadly recovered a body. They say no formal identification has yet been carried out, so we are unable to say whether this is Nicola Bulley at this time. Procedures to identify the body are ongoing." Well, we're about a mile upstream from where that body was uncovered earlier today, and this is where Nicola Bulley's phone and dog were found more than 3 weeks ago. Now, it's also a place where her partner Paul and other friends and family have been visiting during that time, hoping for answers. Lancashire police haven't said who the body is yet. What they have said is that they're describing the death as unexplained, and that Nicola's family are being supported while the body's being identified.
So if it is Nicola, they may be able to do some of the identification from her clothing, but the actual proof would be the DNA, and that's what they'll be waiting for. But I'm sure that will be done very quickly.
Today, new flowers have been placed on the bench where Nicola was last seen, and yellow ribbons, which have symbolised this community's hope of seeing her again.
Sangeeta, it is such a tight-knit community there in St Michael's-on-Wyre, and police have described the recent hours as the most difficult of times. What is the feeling there tonight?
Well, it just feels like people here are desperate for more information. Almost every person I've walked past along the river has approached police officers asking them what's happened. But this is a community that's tried to support Nicola's family, putting up posters and also trying to help with the search. But it is a search that's gained a lot of attention and much speculation. And whilst we're still waiting to hear information and more detail from the police about the identification of that body, today's discovery might provide Nicola's family with some closure.
Sangeeta in Lancashire, thank you. Elsewhere this evening, a man has been arrested after a 74-year-old woman was killed in Exeter. The attack took place in a park in the Wanford area of the city around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The suspect, who's in his 30s, was detained by armed police late last night. The former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has been accused of trying to bring down the current PM by criticising his potential new Brexit deal. Mr Johnson has warned Rishi Sunak that ditching the Northern Ireland Protocol bill that was put together during his time in office would be a mistake. It's Johnson's first major intervention since he resigned, but it suggests there's growing rebellion over Sunak's plans. Catherine Sampson has the story.
This is the oven ready pipe. This is the butter. Boris Johnson said he had an oven-ready Brexit deal, but old rows seem to be getting reheated. The former Prime Minister thinks the UK must have the power to ignore parts of an agreement with the EU on who writes the rules on post-Brexit trade in Northern Ireland. His intervention comes just as Rishi Sunak seems close to reaching a new compromise.
It's not an entirely unhelpful intervention. It does remind us of the bar that needs to be met in these negotiations. And the critical thing is it's got to work for the people of Northern Ireland. It doesn't matter what I or Boris Johnson or any other member of the House of Commons thinks about it.
So he's not being a nuisance and winding up the DUP?
I think the Prime Minister would acknowledge that part of the reason why we've been able to make progress is what his predecessors did to get us there.
The Northern Ireland Protocol was designed to avoid a hard border on Ireland, but it has in effect created a border in the Irish Sea, with goods coming from Britain being checked as they enter. The Unionist community sees this as a threat to their position within the United Kingdom. The new deal is thought to involve a check-free green lane for goods staying in Northern Ireland and a red lane in which goods destined for Ireland are checked. Rishi Sunak needs to sell any compromise to the DUP, but also try and quell a potential backbench rebellion from Eurosceptic Tories. A former Chancellor has questioned Boris Johnson's motives.
He wants to bring down Rishi Sunak and he will use any instrument to do it. And if the Northern Ireland negotiations are that instrument, he will pick it up and hit Mr Sunak over the head with it.
If there is a vote on a new deal next week, Labour says it will provide political cover to try and get a compromise through.
We've just had too many Prime Ministers, former Prime Ministers, all rowing amongst themselves. Nobody wants this to be part of a psychodrama in the Conservative Party.
Negotiations have been going on between the UK and the EU for more than a year now. Settling this row will be key to restarting the Stormont Assembly. Catherine Sampson, ITV News.
The German-language World War I epic All Quiet on the Western Front has dominated at the Bafta Film Awards tonight, taking home not one, not two, but 7 prizes, including Best Film. Best Actor went to Austin Butler for his portrayal of Elvis, and as he picked up the award, he paid an emotional tribute to the Presley family. Our arts editor, Nina Nannar, was watching.
The organisers had promised a dazzling red carpet, and so it was. The Prince and Princess of Wales were joined by some of the biggest names in the film world, hoping for BAFTA glory, and in some cases just enjoying the experience of awards season.
I am having the best time. I am. I am leaning in.
I love the BAFTAs. I feel they're fair.
What would it mean to you to get a BAFTA here tonight?
I mean, it would be the greatest honour of my life. It would be huge. Don't think that's going to happen.
And the BAFTA goes to Austin Butler.
In the event, it was the star of the film Elvis who took the award, giving special thanks to the Presley family.
I cannot thank you guys enough for your love and for sharing with me who Elvis truly was. I hope I've made you proud. This means the world to me.
That was his first BAFTA. Kate Blanchett, who won Best Actress, now has 4. But it was the German war film All Quiet on the Western Front, based on a 1929 novel, which emerged the night's big winner. With 7 awards, it broke the BAFTA record for wins by a film not in the English language, scooping both Best Director and Best Film.
And war is anything but an adventure. And when we started embarking on this, making this film, that seemed a relevant message, even 100 years after the book was published.
Barry Keoghan!
There were 4 wins for the Banshees of Inisherin, including Best Supporting Actor.
Also for the kids that are dreaming to be something from the area that I came from, this is for you.
And actress Kerry Condon.
There was a special tribute tonight for the late Queen, led by someone who has played her both on stage and screen, Dame Helen Mirren. The Queen was a supporter of the creative industries for half a century and was herself awarded a special Bafta 10 years ago to thank her.
Your Majesty, you were our nation's leading star. On behalf of Bafta, thank you.
BAFTA's done, the Oscars are ahead, and with tonight's spread of awards, it shows there's still everything to play for. Nina Nanar, ITV News at the BAFTAs.
And finally, plans for the King's coronation in May are well underway, and today we were given an idea of what it might sound like. 12 new pieces of music have been personally commissioned by the King, including a new coronation album to be penned by Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. The palace says artists have been chosen to blend tradition with musical voices of today, as Alex Isaac now explains.
Although not necessarily known for his rhythm, King Charles's love of music is world-renowned. And to ensure his own coronation has its unique historical soundtrack, he not only has West End legend Andrew Lloyd Webber composing the anthem, but he's also commissioned new music. A mix of choral, orchestral and organ. The 12 new pieces will showcase a range of talent and styles from around the Commonwealth, as well as matters close to his heart.
What's very special about this is that King Charles has absolutely curated this programme of music personally.
With all eyes on the service at Westminster Abbey, the music will be playing an integral part. From historical dramas to the Platinum Jubilee, Debbie knows how to adapt her music for an audience.
I'm thinking of the purpose of it and the joyous, celebratory feel, the fact that it's going to be in Westminster Abbey. So writing with that in mind, and I think of that as I'm writing. Every single note is written with a purpose, thinking of how it's going to be performed and where it's going to be performed.
The service will also include a tribute to his late father, Prince Philip, featuring Greek Orthodox music alongside classical composers like William Byrd and Sir Edward Elgar. Celebrations will continue into the weekend, with a coronation concert taking place the following day, similar to the one held outside Buckingham Palace for the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee, with rumours that the Spice Girls could be performing, where King Charles III may even get another celebratory kiss. Alex Isaac, ITV News.
That's it from the weekend team. Thank you for watching. Good night.
You may want to soak up this lovely winter sun whilst it lasts. Heinz Big Soup sponsors ITV National Weather.
Hello there, very good evening to you. I hope you've had a really lovely weekend. The main story tonight definitely is the wind, which is affecting the whole of the north of the UK, but particularly the northwestern parts and the exposed northern coast of Scotland. Gusting gale force at times, so potential impacts with that. Further south, it's not nearly so windy, but for everyone it's going to be a largely cloudy and for some a wet night and mild as well. And then we look ahead to the start of a brand new week. The wind continues to be an issue across the northern parts of the UK, with rain across central and western parts of Scotland. Sunny spells and showers to the far north. Further south, you can see we are expecting a largely cloudy sort of day, with the best chance of any brightness across the central and eastern areas. The wind gradually, slowly dying away by the end of the day. Then we look ahead to Tuesday, and as you can see, we do have frontal systems nearby. Behind this cold front, things turn much colder from Wednesday onwards. Good night, sleep well.
Heinz Big Soup sponsors ITV National Weather.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent Boilers and Heat Pumps sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.
Hi there, good evening. 2 more days of very mild weather before we get a little bit of a change. We've got this mild source of air coming up from the mid-Atlantic. It's bringing a fair amount of cloud, particularly through Monday and Tuesday. And then we get a bit of a change. This cold front bringing outbreaks of rain on Wednesday and cooler, fresher and showery weather in behind it. But as far as this evening goes, cloud building through the rest of the night. A little bit of a breeze out there, but those two things together keeps us on the mild side once again. We're looking at lows of 5 to 7 Celsius. And then as far as Monday goes, bit of a mixed bag for everybody. Quite a lot of cloud, quite a few bright spells, 1 or 2 sunny spells. But all of this is going to keep changing through the day. You're going to see a mixture of everything as you head into the afternoon. It is also going to be mild, looking at highs of 12 to 14 Celsius. Bit of a breeze, so that might temper the feel of that 14 Celsius, but way up on where we'd expect at this time of year. Similar picture on Tuesday, maybe a degree down, fair amount of cloud, but less breezy. And then this front moves into position on Wednesday, so lots of cloud, outbreaks of rain, and temperatures much closer to where they ought to be for the time of year. Sleep well that night.
Valent sponsors ITV London Weekend Weather.